It's Valentine's Day, and I want to give you the best ways to love on your audience at your virtual hybrid event. Let's do it. Welcome to the next installment of the Virtual Breakdown, where I break down the good, the bad, and the ugly of virtual and hybrid events, so your next one isn't a dud. Love is in the air, la 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 la. So how about we show some love to the peeps joining our event virtually? So I saw a question recently asked about the differences in the way audiences engage virtually versus in person. And of course, that immediately got me thinking about hybrid events and how we can effectively build an engaging experience for both audiences. Interestingly enough, we can actually find the answers in what not to do with your virtual or hybrid event audiences. So I'm going to share with you the best ways to show your audience love by stopping some of the horrible hybrid event habits that I have been seeing. But before I go any further, hello, brave one, and thank you for joining me today. And whether you are here with me live or in the replay, I invite you to play along with me, ask me questions, let me know what is sparking fire in you today, and let me know what you're thinking, and I will be sure to answer you as soon as I can. And if you think what I'm talking about today might be helpful for someone in your circle, then make sure you give them this video, okay? So let's get those thumbs warmed up. Send me some visual love. Let me know that you are ready to go. And also, if this is your first time here with me, hello, I'm Ella Glasgow. I am the Director of Funability at Beyond Virtual Events, and I make virtual events tight. And I do this for established small businesses and corporations that need more engagement and better production so they can build trust and have an event that keeps working for them long after the event is over. So how do we really show the virtual attendees of our hybrid events real love? Yes, I'm singing a lot today. It's happening. But it comes down to the design of the event. And I'm talking about physically, mentally, and visually. All of those elements must be well thought out, because the person who asked this question was right. In-person and virtual audiences do behave differently, but it has very little to do with them being at home. I know, right? Okay, hear me out. Case in point, how many of you watch the Super Bowl? Notice I said watch, not watched. Because every year, people around the nation are watching one of the biggest games of the year fully engaged. And yet, they are thousands of miles away from the physical game. They're jumping, they're cheering. And if they're watching this year's Super Bowl with Usher's halftime show, then they broke a full-on sweat in their living room. I know, my sister told me she was one of them. The hybrid and virtual event doesn't fail because they don't work. Every single time you laugh, cry, or cheer alone watching your favorite show, you prove that it does very much work. Very much so. What doesn't work is an organizer who doesn't understand audience first design. So I mentioned that there are some things that you'll have to stop doing in this 2024 to really see an increase in engagement at your hybrid event. So let's get into it. I started something a couple of weeks ago with our No More in 24, and these are no more things that we are doing in 2024 regarding our hybrid events, okay? Now, remember, if you are here with me live, I want to know that you're here with me. Let me know what's popping for you with these things that I'm talking about today. And if you're here with me in the replay, let me know about that too. I want to know what sparked fire in you today with what we're talking about with hybrid events. So the first thing that we're going to have to get rid of and stop doing to increase your engagement in 2024 with your hybrid events, stop putting people in the overflow room. Stop it. Stop making us feel like we are second-class citizens because we were not there with you in person. So while we weren't there in the stands, I wasn't there in the stands at the Super Bowl. I'm guessing that you probably weren't there in the stands either, unless you were. Let me know. The producers of the show surely brought us all the way in by keeping their virtual audience, you and me, engaged with direct to us commentary and commercials that kept us hooked enough to stay even past the halftime show. Hello, Beyonce dropping an album. Okay? All right? They kept us there. They kept us engaged. We were fully in it. That was our hybrid event because there were people there in person. There were people there at home. You and I were watching at home, which is the perfect segue into the second thing that you're going to have to stop doing to create an experience that engages both your in-person and your virtual audience. And that is, you are going to have to stop creating disjointed events. Continuing with our Super Bowl theme, I want you to think about it. The performers that were there, Usher looked me in the eye a couple of times. The performers looked directly into the cameras. The players motioned up to us on the screen. Everyone there that was a part of that show. I'm talking about the whole Super Bowl, from the players to the coaches to the people that were on stage. Everyone understood the show that they were in. And everyone involved made it feel like we were all a part of the same event. The people that were in the stands felt as much a part of the show as the people that were in the virtual audience. You and me sitting watching at home. We took part in it. Even though I wasn't there, I could very easily have an engrossing conversation with someone who sat in the stands while their perspective may be very different than mine. Our experiences are unified. And that's what I'm talking about. I have said it before and I will say it again. Engagement is so much more than polls and fancy slides. And speaking of polls and fancies, I mean, look, you know, I love bells and whistles. I love them. But that is not at the detriment of laying the foundation and understanding what engagement actually is. And I've been thinking about this topic of engagement for a really long time and thinking about doing a video on it. Let me know if you want me to do a video specifically about engagement and what it truly is and what I feel like we may be all missing. Okay? But before I go any further, speaking of engagement and experiences, did you know that I run a live virtual event twice a month in Zoom? Yes. It's called the Business Breakout, and I do it on the first and third Wednesday of every month. I interview thought leaders in business and showcase excellence in entertainment while you get a behind-the-scenes look at how I run virtual events and see how I make all these things that we're talking about today happen. But you don't have to take my word for it. Take a listen to one person that what she had to say after being in the Zoom audience.
My experience with Zoom has been, this is totally different. I mean, this is a major production and really understanding how to use the tool in creative ways that I don't know. I don't know how you did what you did. It's engaging, it's interesting, and it's really what I'm looking to do to bring to my programs. You know, something that's a lot more engaging, a lot more interesting, a lot more fun. So I don't know how you do your magic, but I'm much more educated now, and I'm very interested to explore further.
Yes, It is possible to make a Zoom virtual event engaging, interesting, and fun. So whether it's training an event, whether you are having a client activation event or a 3-day conference, so much more is possible for your Zoom virtual events. There is so much possible for you that you may have wanted, but you were just not sure you can make it happen with your current skill set. And I would love to invite you to join me for my next virtual event so that you can see what's possible for yours. I will put the link to join me in the comments below when this video is done. Okay? So the experience that you bring your audience at your next virtual event could be vastly different and help build that trust factor because you took the time to build an event that had your audience in mind. And the last thing I want you to stop doing, I want you to make a promise to me. Make a promise that you're going to stop doing this, that you are going to stop creating FOMO. Now, I'm talking about there's good FOMO and there's bad FOMO. And the FOMO I'm talking about is the bad FOMO. I'm talking about you creating an environment that makes the audience that's not there, the audience that's in the virtual event, feel like they have gone to something wrong. They've done something wrong because they didn't show up in person. That is completely unfair to your virtual audience. And it makes them feel like second-class citizens because you didn't take the time to put something together for them to make them feel like they were a part of the event that was there in person. You have no idea why they didn't come to the in-person event. They obviously wanted to be a part of it because they showed up virtually. There are all kinds of things that could keep people from being there in person. It could be that they have some type of physical ailment that can't get them there, but they can show up virtually. It could be that the cost of it, on top of the cost of paying for being there in person, we're thinking about plane tickets, hotel rooms, food, transportation, all the things, on top of whatever it costs to enter your in-person event. All of those factors are at play for your audience. And if they show up virtually, they want an experience that is just as good as it would have been if they were there in person. Maybe they can get there in person the next time, but we never want to make it feel like the virtual experience was just a throwaway and we're just kind of giving this to you, but you really should have been here in person. No. No more. No more of that in 2024. Make your virtual piece just as impactful, just as engaging as the in-person piece. So one more time so that you can see all of these things, the things that we're stopping in 2024. We are going to be eliminating that overflow room feeling. That feeling that basically you've put a camera at the back of the room and you get to watch over the shoulders of the audience that's there and see somebody far away and hope that you can catch what it is that they're putting down. Maybe you pop up a slide, but basically there's no other thing that you're doing for your virtual audience except giving them a camera and a bird's eye view of what's going on. No more of that. No more overflow room in 2024. Also, no more disjointed events. No more making it feel like the virtual people and the in-person people are a part of two completely different experiences. They need to be unified and feel like even if they weren't there, in person, that them watching from online, they could have a conversation with somebody that was there in person and have a very engaging conversation, even though they had different perspectives. Even though they had different perspectives and were watching from different places, they should feel like they had a unified experience. And with that, no more FOMO. No more FOMO. Stop making your virtual attendees feel like they are missing out because they weren't there in person, because you couldn't think creatively enough to make it feel so amazing to still attend even virtually. All of this should be happening for your hybrid events. I hope that you've gotten something out of our time together today, and I hope that you're going to be putting some of these things into practice. At the end of the day, I'm here to help you take your events from blah webinars of 2019, because those were so 2019, to fantastic showcases that not only highlight you and your brand, but also create a sense of trust in your future clients, your customers, and your employees. Because at Beyond Virtual Events, it's not just about hosting events, it's about crafting experiences with purpose. Your event is a stepping stone for your audience, and when it's done right, it can transform a single moment into a cascade of marketing opportunities for your business. And with us, it's not just about going live, it's about creating a lasting impact that extends far beyond the event itself. So if you are looking to elevate your virtual presence and turn your next hybrid event into a powerhouse of ongoing engagement without tech headache, yes, it can be done. I'm here to help you make that happen. So until next time, keep sparking some fire, keep making things awesome, and remember, everything that you do can go far beyond. I'll catch you next time.